Hey, everybody.
Hi, welcome to Unravel and Uplift.
Another fabulous Wednesday. Today, we are going to talk about why simple things feel weirdly hard right now. I know this is totally relatable.
Very. I mean, how many times this week have you walked into a room and immediately forgotten like where you are?
I mean, all the time. All the time. Like, I'm always thinking about something else. My brain is clouded. During the day when the kids are gone and my husband's gone for work, I talk to myself or the dog and I'm like, Roxy, why am I in here right now? What did I just come in here to do? All the time. Yeah.
It's bizarre, isn't it? When there's so many things racing around your mind to actually then keep on top of things.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
You know, it's just utter clutter.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Utter clutter.
Utter clutter.
Utter clutter. Like I think I said last time in our podcast that I had that moment where I'd gotten things out of the pantry and things out of the fridge and then I returned them to the wrong spot. And then it's like, my kids are like, Mummy, where is this? And I'm like, in the fridge. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was in the pantry. And they love that. They love to tell you that you're losing your mind.
Oh, 100%.
It doesn't matter, you know, that Mummy's losing her mind. But it does feel like that.
Yeah.
It does feel like, I sometimes think it must be like how I saw my parents. Like I used to roll my eyes like, oh my goodness, they're having an old moment.
Yes.
And I'm having them now.
Yeah. And I think and we'll get into this later, we'll unravel this later, that there is a lot of just falsehoods that are a bunch of BS. We put these expectations on ourselves. And why do we do that? You know, and that's why our mind is a clutter for sure.
Just that chaos, you know, it's, life is no longer simple.
No.
And that's not just on a kind of, kids used to just go out after school and not have all the clubs. I feel like part of that is that hyperconnectivity as well, that, you know, like, even though probably if we look back being in the office 5 days a week, 9 to 5, none of us really want to go back there. However, it's now that we're all hyper connected and we can't like escape our work, you know, it's like, it's 7:00 and I know I'm guilty of checking my work emails and my Teams.
Yes. You're always being pinged. You're always checking your chats and making sure, did someone get back to me? Do I need to send something out? Yeah. A lot of it's self-created for sure. Yeah.
And then this morning, I'll use an example. I woke up and I'm being good. I'm not looking at my phone for the first 15 minutes following on from our last session.
Yeah.
And actually I'm feeling good for it. But after those 15 minutes, I hopped online and my inbox, just the number of things that I haven't got around to this week because I've been busy working, and then kids' activities that I've starred that I need to go back to. And then this morning it was kind of like working through those. But I spent a good hour this morning just trying to de-chaotify.
Yes.
Is that even a word? De-chaotify?
We're going to make it a word.
De-chaotify.
Word now.
My
Webster note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Utter clutter and de-chaotify.
Sure.
Out of my inbox.
Yeah.
Just so I could feel better about starting the day.
Yeah. It's always something. So today we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about why life sometimes feels oddly chaotic, even when nothing major is really going on. Yeah.
I think we're not alone in feeling this as well. I'd imagine it's one of those things that people are quietly feeling. You know, it's kind of a silence around
or loudly feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's just one of those that you just go, oh, I'll just chalk it up to the fact that this is modern day life. Yeah. And being a parent, and I'm sure this also applies to people that aren't parents, you know, there's just so much to do.
Yeah. So welcome to Unravel and Uplift, the podcast where we stop pretending everything's fine and we talk about what actually is going on. And today we're going to dive into what everybody is feeling, quietly or not.
Yeah. It's almost like you looked at my phone a few weeks ago and I had so many tabs open.
Oh gosh. I didn't even know you could have that many tabs open.
Jen was horrified.
Yeah.
But I feel like my brain's like that sometimes.
Oh, definitely.
It's like all these open tabs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about those open tabs.
Okay. So why is it that we do feel like things feel harder?
That's a good question. I think a lot of it is what we bring on ourselves, like I touched on. I think that we continue to say yes. We were just having this conversation with your husband that things sound like a good idea when we sign up for them, personally and professionally. We say, yes, 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 I can do that. And then you get into the thick of it and you're like, whoa, I'm drowning. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like a low level stress, right? Just, it's like
baseline stress.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an analogy here. Like the light's always on, but it's not the brightest. It's like a dim light is, if you've got one of the dimmers, like the dim light is there.
Yeah, it's still working.
Constantly on.
Yeah.
Constantly on. And there's probably moments where it goes brighter, but it never goes off. And I think things that we're managing are, we mentioned work.
Yep.
Relationships.
Family responsibilities.
Digital communication.
Right. All those emails, all those return texts, all the things you're managing, your calendar.
I suppose like life admin.
Yeah, totally.
Almost life admin.
Yeah. Something's always running in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. And psychologists often refer to this as a cognitive load. Oh gosh,
that's a big word.
It sounds very overwhelming, doesn't it? Cognitive load.
Yeah. Just by saying that, the cortisol is on rise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's almost like we're juggling decisions.
Yeah.
Judgments.
All the information. Yeah. Again, all the responsibilities, all the things you've signed up for, willingly or unwillingly in life.
And if you think about that as an equation, it's like plus, 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 plus.
It all adds up. Yeah. Compounding.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like the accumulation of tiny ones, all just becoming this big, chaotic, messy gunk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I think things like, I know sometimes I'm like, what was the password that I created for?
Right. Or how many times, like I start my day in the morning and I think about, I pack the kids' lunch, do the things. And then I'm like, okay, what's going to be for dinner? Do I have those things to make dinner? What are we going to eat? I mean, sometimes we just go on the fly and someone's eating cereal, someone's eating leftovers, but just all the things that need to happen for you to plan your day become very clouded. It can make the day even more daunting for sure.
And that communication piece, I think, is key to that as well. Like, if I think back to when I was a child and saw my parents, going about their daily interactions, the only way anyone could get hold of them was by physically knocking on our door.
Yes.
Or calling the landline. Whereas now it is email after email, ping after ping.
Yes.
Text messages, so it adds
multi-forms of communication coming in. Yeah.
And always on, that mental clutter.
Yep.
Is just there.
Yeah. Even when if I'm walking the dog, I'll have my earbuds in and I might be listening to a podcast or just even to music. And it will be like, bing, Claire says. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, no. Like, would you like to listen to Claire's message? I'm like, no, because you're even if you're just trying to have a moment.
Yeah.
Whether it's a chat from work or whether it's an ad, they're pinging you in your ear. Everybody's out to get your attention for sure.
They are.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a lot. My husband, Nick, the other day was like, he'd been flying in, he landed and he suddenly opened his emails and he was like, oh my goodness, I had 25 calendar invites from you.
Oh.
And I was like, I know.
Yeah, that's life.
And he was like, why so many? And I was like, because that's what happens in a day.
Yeah.
I get all of these, calendar things that I have to put in. And he was like, kind of like silently chirping at me. And I was like, well, you can enter all of those calendar invites if you want. He was like, oh, no, I'm good.
But the calendar, even though it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because if we didn't have the calendar, like the kids would be like, hey, what time is this? Like, it's on your calendar.
Yes.
It's on your calendar. Check the calendar. I mean, that is the Bible where if it's not on the calendar, even the smallest things, I will find myself scheduling. So then there's a likelihood that will happen, whether it's a workout or whether it's a touch base. I put it in the calendar. Otherwise, other things will muddy the waters and it won't get done. Do you keep a to-do list?
I run to-do lists and I also do a calendar, like you say, and even my work day. I think my manager thinks I'm crazy because I will schedule, like if I've got a project or something that I need to focus on that day that needs priority, I will actually schedule the time in to focus on it.
Smart.
If not, I feel like I can get derailed from keeping on track of doing it.
Yes.
So it's almost like mentally scheduling in that physical time so it's there and protected.
Yeah. That's a good word, protecting.
Yeah.
I feel that I've gotten better this past year about, I used to like answer every chat immediately. As soon as the email would pop up, you get that notification, you'd flip over there, but then you lose track of what you're working on. And at an hour, a couple hours go by at the end of the day, and I'd look at my list, and I'm like, what did I do today?
Yeah.
What did I actually do? But it's like, you're so distracted by all the things, and then you can't get refocused on what you're doing. And it's the quality of your work sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just have to try to block out all those things. But the to-do list, I feel I try to write a lot of things down, even the easy things like make bed.
Yeah.
Check. Cause I know I'll do that, but it makes me feel good.
Strike through. I love using strike through my notes.
You can see that you've done it, right? And you need those victories. But I also am guilty of, the list will have, through the course of the day, I'm thinking about work specifically, I'll write a note, do this, do that. And the list will be like 30 things.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm so overwhelmed by the list, I just sit there and stare at it. And I'm like, where do I even start? How do I even start tackling this list? So I try to do the easy ones first that are really quick. But sometimes I even look at them. I'm like, okay, the list is not that bad. I have to have a little talk with myself. Let's just knock out like these first 3 that take you, maybe 10 minutes. And that makes me feel better. But I can look at that list and it becomes really overwhelming.
And I think you touch on a really good point there, Jen. Like, I just, when you were saying that, I had the image of like you having 40 tabs open in your brain. You know, like you do, like my laptop will be like almost like, not working when I have so much open. And I feel like that's our brains, you know, like there's 40 tabs there.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're darting between each of those tabs.
Yes.
You know, and then it's hard to stay focused and on task when you are flitting between each of the tasks.
Yes. And to be present.
Yeah.
I'm very guilty of that.
Yeah.
Like someone could be talking to me, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about all these other things I have to do. And then when I have to go to respond, I'm like, what was that again? Because I'm not present. And that's a terrible thing, because all these other things are clouding your mind.
There's things like work deadlines. There's remembering to text someone back. So someone was telling me actually, and I think this is a really neat trick that I kind of need to start doing, but they will leave a text unread, you know, because if not, they know that they won't go back to it. And I think it's something that I want to start actually doing, because I'm guilty of opening the text straight away, and then I sometimes forget to get back to someone. But I suppose if you just leave it there, as long as you can avoid the temptation of like, what is it about?
Yeah, because what's about? What if it's something somebody needs, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It is.
You let me know how that goes.
I will.
And
I'll let you know how it goes.
I do not fall into this bucket. You always read mine.
So I feel like that's one way of just kind of, you know, keeping it at bay and remembering that it's there. The wondering if you've done something. I often do this. I'm like, I will have the oven on, and then I go and pick one of the kids up, and I'm in the car going, did I turn the oven off?
Right.
And then sometimes I'll drive back.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
not
can
sure.
be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because like, obviously you don't want to burn your house down.
Right. Because you do it unconsciously. I feel like there's certain parts of your life that you do without even thinking, because you're programmed to do it, you know, whether it's the simplest task that you're doing on repeat in the house. So then you do that and you're like, did I do that today? Yeah. And then what was that yesterday? Like I'm constantly, we've talked about brain fog in the past, where I'm like, what am I even doing right now? Like I have these moments all the time. Like it's concerning. Yeah.
So research actually shows though, Jen, that decision fatigue increases when we carry too many small decisions. So there's a psychologist called Roy Baumeister. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name correctly. And Roy explains that the more decisions we make, the harder each subsequent decision becomes. It's like those trivial choices can overwhelm the brain, and it's almost like that overload factor.
Yeah, I totally get the short circuit. Yeah, if you have all those things, you know, pressing, how do you get any quality work done like we talked about? I totally get that. Yeah, I'm with you, Roy. Aligned on that.
I think we also, alongside that, have this myth of having it all together. There's this real...
especially as women, right? Like there's just a heavy load on our shoulders to be best in class mom, best in class friend, best in class daughter, best in class, employee. And we put so many of those stressors on ourselves, and it's a lot of fronted bullshit.
It is.
Yeah. Like we're just trying to,
Yeah.
we've had the dry shampoo references on the show. Like
Yeah.
we're just trying to pull together and survive through the day.
And I think that's the reality, isn't it? But that's never portrayed in society.
Right.
So society shows perfection, that you're eating your how many grams of protein a day and all of your vegetables, and your skin is perfect,
Right.
and you are working out in like this really precise, perfect manner. You're managing your finances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got the perfect marriage.
You're emotionally available. Like I said, being present. Yeah.
Your kids are getting all of these A grades,
Right.
all these things that really everyone's shit stinks.
Yes.
So
100%.
look at it.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you are seeing this present
Yes.
on social media.
Yes. The falsehoods.
Constantly,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the celebrities weighing in on it as well. Like, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is another thing I need to achieve in my life.
Yeah. And it's nice when you have these power partners in life that can help you with that lift, whether it's your strong carpool game, if, your kids aren't driving yet, or if someone went to a meeting about college, prep. Hey, can you just give me the download of what that was? Because it takes a village. It truly does to bring that all together. So I think we need to stop with the perfection.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to be honest about where we're really at as humans, and that, hey, if you can cover this, I can cover that, right? Like that tag team effort can really go a long way. Work smarter, not harder initiative.
It goes back to that being vulnerable, right? Though asking for help can feel harder than the mental clutter.
Yeah.
It's like you have to really feel okay psychologically to be vulnerable, to ask for that help.
Yeah.
But it's required. Yeah. It's required to help us balance.
It's a survivor skill.
Yeah.
I mean, you will not survive some of the days that become so heavy if you don't ask for help. So do not be that person that plays the hero. They're not handing out like awards at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why carpools are so popular. 100%. Like it's a let's be a village. Let's not all just be driving the car in the same direction all the time, because we need to share that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think back to like communities of past, and I feel like villages were probably more accessible, just part of regular life. Like I know when I grew up, my mum would think nothing of the neighbor just taking me in if she wasn't home, Whereas now I feel like it's not as straightforward as that.
Right. And I grew up in a smaller town, so you could walk. You could get on the bus with like no fear. Plus, we were, this is going to make me sound really old, but like in our days, you didn't have to worry about these kind of things. And I think, honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, we probably do not need to worry about them that much now. Yeah. But because of the media, and I think our generation are more hands-on parents, maybe could be helicopter-y at moments where we're like, oh, no, I can take you. We can do that. Where my parents were like, walk. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't see your family from sun up to sundown. And there was no tracking. There was no 360. No one knew where you were. And now we're so involved in every aspect of everybody else's life.
And then we expect our kids to figure it out themselves. And it's like, we're not setting them up to figure it out themselves.
Right.
Because we're there.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. So coping mechanism, like for me, I am the star of this show. Humor helps.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I can't get through anything. I mean, everything I do in life is a joke. I can go to a funeral, it won't be tasteful, but I'll be making a joke because that's how I deal with things. Like when stress bogs me down, when there's a moment that I feel uncomfortable, I have to laugh my way through it.
You are the humor queen.
Yes,
for this.
I try to be.
But it really does lighten the load for everyone around as well.
Yeah.
So I value that. I really do value that, and I suppose really when we think about what that humor does, I mean, when we laugh, when we exercise, we release those endorphins. Right. So if you bring humor in, you're releasing those happy, feel good hormones, right?
Yeah. And when that load gets heavy, you said something stupid, you forgot to pick up your kid, you completely spaced off something or another. at least you can look back and laugh on it. And maybe that's not immediately. You might do a little bit of like self-torture for a moment, but if you look back and laugh in it, you do feel that release, where you're just like, okay, you know what? I am human. I got a lot of stuff going on. Let's just laugh it off. And by laughing it off with that person, they realize you're human too.
Yeah.
Right? That give yourself some grace.
Yeah. Emotional resilience, I think, is key.
Yeah.
Again, that vulnerability and just, I will often say I'm either a hot mess or I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say those things.
Right.
It's taken me a moment to do that because you often feel like, oh, blame is going to come my way. But I think it makes you more human.
Yeah. It normalizes the chaos that we actually live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say sometimes the healthiest response to chaos is laughing through it.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. So
yeah,
we have a chaotic moment, listeners.
I've actually got a list of examples of everyday human moments here, and I'm sure that all of our listeners can relate to this. Sending the text to the wrong person.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah.
Oops.
Yes. Yeah. Embarrassingly, I have done that before. I'm like, oh, wrong Claire. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't for you.
Forgetting why you opened an app.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, this one. Reheating coffee multiple times.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm a tea drinker, and I usually slam it so I don't have to reheat it. But my husband, so guilty of that. Like he will leave it, the cup, everything, obviously the cup, it will be in there. And then I go at dinner time and it's in there. And then I will like take a picture of it and be like, did you forget something? Because he is like, I talk about my brain fog. He's constantly, he is not a multitasker. He's always off in la la land. Yeah. Well, which honestly puts more pressure on me. I mean, Scott, if you're listening to this, this is not a slam against you, but it's because I know if he struggles in that space that I need to be like, hey, do we have our shit in order? Yeah. Is all this done?
Well, and Nick's similar. Nick will be like, can you remind me? And I'm like, oh, please.
Yes.
You just added another thing to my cognitive load. But I also know as a partnership, it has to be done that way. Just this morning, I was like, hey, he tidied up around here, which I was so grateful for, so I could get to the gym and then we could do this. And then I was like, oh shoot, I actually need to put washer fluid in my car before I drive to Rockford. And I was like, please. So I feel like it is that give and take, right? And just help each other.
Yeah.
So Nick with the coffee has actually bought one of those insulated big mugs, Yeti, if you want to sponsor us, Yeti.
Yeah.
Because he was the same. He would just leave his coffee. So at least for those few hours, it's still warm.
Right. He just travels along with this large vessel of caffeine.
And it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
But
so we talked about humor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, definitely for me, number one coping mechanism. But hey, coach, what are some other things we can do?
Well, and I think like you said, the human factor is like really lightening that load for sure. So that helps.
Yeah.
I think otherwise, so interesting that this week I was being coached because I do these peer-to-peer sessions. And so I was the coachee this week, and this was actually one of my topics. And I think the perfect analogy that I had to be used was juggling all these balls.
Yeah.
So how do you stop the balls from dropping without feeling so mentally exhausted about all the things that you have to do? And, some of the things that I discussed with my coach were skipping a ball. So that prioritization, like what is most important at this moment in time, so if it's 5:00 and you're thinking, oh, I need to get dinner, then you know what, maybe walk away from the thing that you're currently doing and focus on that one thing.
Yeah.
I think another thing with the balls is trying to make sure that you focus time specifically for that. So we talked about those 40 tabs open in our mind. Try and only work on one tab at a time. That's really hard to in modern society. I think that's really hard to break that habit and cycle. But I think if you can almost block a calendar time that you're focusing on that one thing, it helps.
Yes.
Because you're not got this accumulation of a million things in your mind. It's that one thing and you can do it well and properly.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Meal routines, I think, are extremely important.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that you can't drop the ball and pull something out of the freezer or order takeout. But I think if you can try to think about your meal planning for the week and go shopping and buy those ingredients and almost try and stick to that, it will help. It will just take that one piece of.
Yes. Yeah. Especially if you do have a health goal or something that's around your meal planning. Like the kids are having a huge moment with protein right now.
Yeah.
So we are a protein packed house. And if I don't have that meat thawed out or bought at the store, like, I mean, how much yogurt can we eat?
I know.
You know, how
Yeah.
much yogurt can we eat? Cottage cheese, how much of that can we eat? Like, if you don't have that plan in place, you'll set yourself for failure and then you're beating yourself up about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also weekly planning,
Mhm.
it's something I actually do this a lot. I really do weekly plan and it takes some time. So it's almost bizarre because I will set myself like an hour on a Sunday,
Yeah.
typically, to really look at, okay, what do I expect this week? Like what is happening? And that can be appointments.
Yeah.
That can be work. That can be other people's stuff. And actually, I kind of look at it at a weekly view and then I almost say, can I do this?
Yes.
You know, like this week we've got dentist appointments coming up. I've got one and the kids have got separate ones. My car's due in for a service, but actually some of those things might need to get pushed.
Yes.
Because we just cannot do it, you know? And I think it's then trying to look at that week holistically and trying to simplify your schedule.
Yes.
A little bit like we talked about in December. What can you actually push out?
Yes. And it's not necessary.
Yeah. And what's not necessary?
Yeah.
What
Instead
do
of
you not need
making
to
the
do?
cookies, buy those pre-bought cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you simplify? What can you remove? And that's a good point. Like Scott and I have a huddle in the morning before he starts his day and I start mine. We're like, okay, where are we at today? Let's look at the calendar. So-and-so needs to be somewhere. What time do we need to leave for that? I can't do this. I have a commitment. Can you do that?
Yeah.
It's the divide and conquer or the push.
Yeah.
Right. Or even now that our daughter's a driver, hey, how can you help contribute to the chaos?
And that village, like, you know, I know for my daughter's volleyball, we sign up to carpools like months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff happens, life happens in between. And I think it's having that flexibility to say to people, I'm kind of stuck here.
Yeah.
Can you help? Can you do this?
Yeah.
So I think things like that. But I think to get there as well, it's almost like you have to pause the noise that's going on around you.
Yes.
I
have those moments to exhale, protect your peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you said, your podcast in the morning sounds like it's protected time for you.
Yes.
So maybe an additional step there is silencing notifications.
Yes.
You know, at certain times of the day.
Yeah.
So that you're not going to get interrupted whilst doing your podcast.
Yeah. And now that our weather is better, I'm just really trying to, when I go out and take the dog for a walk, I bring my phone with me. Of course, it's always in my pocket, but sometimes I just listen to like the sounds of nature and like feel the sun on my face and just really like be mindful and conscious of what's going on around me, because we are so ingrained into our digital and letting the mind it takes me, depends on how much Roxy's sniffing around, but it takes me about 12 minutes to get around the block. And just to have that 12 minutes just to decompress, and I try to focus on my breathing, like, and not be so rushed and yanking her down the street, like, we gotta go. Those moments are just so valuable for me. Right. So I encourage you guys to do that. Just even when you're driving in the car, turn the radio off and just listen and look around, because we don't do that. I mean, look at your kids. And when the kids are in the car with me, they're like this on their phone. They have no idea what's going on in the world around them. And we can be guilty of it too. We get down those rabbit holes, and those few moments of peace and quiet are rare in our life if you really think about it.
Well, and I think it harks back to that presence as well. If you can enable yourself to have that immersion in nature or just hear the sounds, even if it's someone honking someone, you know, on the street, you're present. You're being present.
Yeah.
You're living your life in that moment.
Yeah.
You're giving your brain a break from those 40 tabs being open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, you know, I'd really urge all of you to really think about one thing, a small thing, that's been taking up space in your brain lately. Again, we're going to say write it down,
Yep.
share it, and then try and let it go.
Right.
Um,
Because that writing down, we talk about that a lot, that writing it down makes it real, right? Because sometimes
does.
those things float around in your mind, but until you pin it down, you write it down, as soon as it's on paper, then you know that's a valid feeling or a goal or initiative. Like, write it down. Yeah.
And then laugh as well. Like, I feel like having those moments of just giggle. I will giggle to myself sometimes, and
Yeah.
I hate to think what people think
Yes.
around me. They're like, what is wrong with her?
Right.
But I feel like it's a good way to just exhale a little
Yeah.
and just, it almost helps you cope with those moments of pressure
Yeah.
and overload. Also a good old sigh does as well. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh, yeah.
it just helps get it out.
Yeah. Like,
Better in the universe.
right. I think about, for those people who have done yoga, when you do like the lion,
Oh,
we take that deep breath and then you exhale everything out through your mouth. So when I get into bed, I don't know how my husband even deals with me, honestly. That'll be a whole nother segment. But, after I do the whole routine on my face, all the things, I get into bed and I take this deep breath, and this exhale is alarming. I mean, it is like from the bowels of the earth. Like, where is that exhale coming from? But it feels so good. Like, I just love it. And it just completely lets my body melt into that bed before I usually get on my phone. I know I'm such a hypocrite because we talk about not doing that, but it's just to have that exhale, that peace, so powerful.
I remember when Noah was younger, I used to get him to breathe like a dragon.
Yes.
Because he would just get so pent up, and I'd just be like, blow it out like fire and dragon. I completely understand why rage rooms became a thing. I really do.
Yeah.
The people just need to let these pent up feelings and emotions and clutter out.
Yeah.
We
should do that.
Yeah.
We should find one and do it.
Maybe we should go and do that.
Yeah. My coworker, she's a big
on location.
A group advocate for wanting to do a rage room. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Let's go smash some things up.
Yeah. But I wonder how that release would feel.
I wonder too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tune in. We're gonna try
we
that.
We might go on location to a rage room.
Right. Yeah. coming at you live from the rage room. Right.
But I think it's one of those where we, you feel like everything has to perfectly come together.
Yeah.
But as we will keep saying, life is messy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that it can all just come together.
Right. Yeah. And we just have to recognize that it can be complicated. You're going to have curveballs.
Yeah.
Like, you also can't get bogged down by the perfect day, perfect schedule, because in the morning when you huddle and you're like, okay, this is what we need to do today, totally off course. That is not the plan. And you need to allow for that. Like, very rarely does your day go as planned.
Well, and then just thinking about that cortisol as well, right? That we talked about
last week. Yeah.
So in the morning, your cortisol is where it hopefully should be.
Right.
And you're prepared for that day, and it does look rosy and you're fresh. At the end of the day, your cortisol is going down, as it should as well. But your ability to maybe pivot and deal with the chaos may not be quite as in sync as it was earlier that day. So things can feel a lot worse at that point in the day than earlier in the day as well.
Yep.
So,
and creating that peace, give yourself the grace when things go off course that it's going to be okay. This is just life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's real, and it's complicated, and we kind of have to figure it out as we go. And I think sometimes you just need to give yourself a break. You really do. And I know that's easier said than done. But please do try and give yourself a break. You're human. Life doesn't have to look perfect. In fact, I think sometimes maybe if life was perfect, it'd be a little boring as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I hope that listeners out there, if this resonated to you, that, let's keep the conversation going. Reach out to us. Tell us what funny things have happened to you. Laugh at yourself with us. Give yourself that grace. And share this episode for someone who may need that it's okay moment. Everybody else is going through this. Yeah.
And subscribe to our socials. We're trying to have a presence there. Again, something that doesn't come naturally to us. We're a different generation, but we are trying. And actually, maybe we'll give you something to laugh at.
Yeah.
In those moments of chaos.
Yeah. And let us know that we're not out here alone either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello out there. Right?
So thank you for unraveling with us today and uplifting
with us together. Bye, guys.